One, two, three. Hello, everybody. How's it going? And welcome to Nest of Friends. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope that this is greeting you well this evening. Give me a moment to move over to my screen and we will see how well my hair looks for this evening's. There it is. Look at that transition. Hey, everyone. Hey there, guys, gals, non-binary pals, nesties, one and all, from San Fernando Valley to the great wide world above, beyond, and everywhere in between. I'm your host, Sketch Williams. I hope you all hear me. If not, welcome to the auto-generated captions and all of the nice overlay effects that were kindly set up by our lovely moderator here on Twitch. If you don't hear the music that's being displayed on YouTube, don't worry, that's by design. If you want to be able to listen along, you can obviously sample the playlist above here in the overlay. If you're wondering about the QR code, we'll get back to that in a min. But do join us over on Twitch. We got a pretty active setup there. Come hang out, come chat, come ask me questions. Tonight, for this draw along, we're going to be working on hands. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a quick warm-up exercise to get myself ready for drawing some hands. And then we're going to play with some setups for this evening's draw along. I hope you're all doing well. Ooh, love that mic effect. Hope you're all doing well tonight. I hope you're all having the best time you can on a Tuesday. How's your week going? Mine just started and the calendar is already full up. And I am grateful considering how not full up that calendar has felt for a minute. So thank you everyone for making time in your schedule to join us here at Nest of Friends. For those who may not know, I have had the pleasure of hosting figure drawing events here in the San Fernando Valley for the last 2 years. Before that, I was doing it for almost 8 years in New York City. That's Astoria, Queens. Big up to the best borough in the world. I hope you're all doing good. Please enjoy some King of Falafel for me next time you see the truck or you go down by their brick and mortar. You're not going to find better Mediterranean food in the world, so go support a good falafel near you whenever you can. This is our first one, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for supporting our community for this long. Thank you for showing up when you can and for watching this, even if it's in the past. I hope you're enjoying it as a nice little chill replay. This is going to be part of a regular weekly series we do as we continue to foster community online and in the real world. Nest of Friends is a non-for-profit that started by me and my partner, where we can start to create more third space through creating and crafting, so that people can curate the kind of community that they want to be a part of. These goals are kind of in line with the rest of the world right now. We want to be able to create places where people can feel safe, where they can be creative, and where they can support each other. And fostering things as simple as figure drawing events, drink and draws, crafting workshops, and more unique ways to skill share is the goal of Nest of Friends. And welcome to this live stream where we can demonstrate some drawing skills and share and build and hopefully grow together and start to create more of the kind of world that we want to see, not just in our daily walks, but also, in how we treat each other online. How's this music treating everybody? Such an intense vibe shift. Thank you, Streambeats. Everyone knows Harris Heller and everyone's grateful for him. Let's try finding a mood. And we'll go from there, everyone. Tell me how you're doing. How's your Tuesday? I don't want to make it too sleepy. How's this one? This one's got 2 corgis on it. Yeah. A little pip, a little pep. Lord knows I have so much salt. It's good to have some pepper in the mix. How about we get into it? Let's do some drawing. How about that? I'm going to turn down my little remote light here. Ooh, moody red. Ooh, it's a hazard. You know, maybe we need a little bit extra kick. Look at that. That's going to be fun. I can angle this back a little bit too. Haha, technology. Sometimes it works with me. So for those who don't know, we've got a whole bunch of fun events coming up here with Nest of Friends. This Thursday, our first Thursday show at Geeky Tees, we're going to be doing Rings of Power. If you scan the QR code here in the overlay, it'll take you to nestoffriends.org. You'll find all of the information about our upcoming events, including our first Thursday figure draw at Geeky Tees, like I just said, coming up. That's Ring of Power. That's Lord of the Rings for all of my Tolkien tokens out there. Come check it out. It's going to be a fun 2-hour figure drawing session. That one's going to start at 7:30. For anyone who joined us last time, the 7 p.m. kind of messed with their commute/dinner time. So we're still trying to find that happy balance. Come figure it out with us. Get your tickets right now. It's selling pretty hot, so make sure to grab them before they disappear. It's Tuesday now. Lord knows that could only last so long. By the way, when we talk Lord, you have your options between Dionysus and Dark Phillip. That's really the only ones that matter to us here. It's Nest of Friends. Almost said sketch by sketch. Got to remind myself. Multi-skills. Let me turn this light off so I can conserve it, even though it makes me look so pretty. I'm going to need to get more of these. That was really good. That was a nice glow to me. We'll turn it on in a second. And then Saturday, May 3rd, we've got a free event. That's our anime crafting party right here in the San Fernando Valley. Join us in Sherman Oaks at Geeky Glamorous. That's our friend Mandy's Brick and Mortar. If you don't know it, come find it with us as we do a paper dolls crafting time with some adult coloring books. There's going to be an anime-inspired food truck there selling wares and food, as well as you can buy some exclusive goodies and get some freebies with a certain purchase amount at Geeky Glamorous. Come join us for her anime celebration at Geeky Glamorous in Sherman Oaks. We'll be crafting, talking shop, talking all things nerdtastic. And then, I'm reading the prompter. Allow me to be professional for a moment, please. And then Wednesday, May 7th, we've got a free drop-in event. That's going to be a 7 to 9 at Moby's Coffee on Burbank Boulevard. Join us in Burbank. Oh, we are having a lovely Tuesday, Mermaid Vexa. Welcome to the premiere of Nest of Friends, our Tuesday draw along. Tonight we're going to be doing a hands workshop, just working way through announcements. Free event, May 7th. That's going to be our drop and draw over at Moby's. That's going to be a part of our regular monthly just vibe. We're just going to come. Your cost of admission is buying a drink to support a local woman-owned business and help us build up the kind of community they want to see there by sharing our community time with them. I'll bring some references. I don't know if you guys want things printed or if you want me to grab like some kind of like action figure situation, maybe a diorama. But you know, everyone was like, what are we going to draw? It's like, whatever you want. But apparently you all want some inspiration. So I'll do my best to provide something just in case you need it. But I think we had a fun time. Everyone signed our guest book. So we have a guest sketchbook where you get to draw a doodle. And we're making that a new regular thing that we're going to be doing for our regular figure draws. So join us again, May 1st, May 3rd, May 7th, 137. We've got a lot coming up. The first is going to be our Rings of Power figure draw at Geeky Tees. Then we're going to be doing a free event for anime at Geeky Glamorous. Then May 7th, we're going to be at Moby's for a drop-in. And then we got so many more. We got 3 more events the rest of the month. May 10th. We've got our Jazz and Draw back at Moby's for our Saturday night, late night, 9 to 11, Jazz and Draw. We're going to have a live band and a figure model. We're going to have a lovely model do a Dionysus-inspired figure draw for you. So come. It's Mother's Day Eve, so bring your favorite mom or your favorite MILF. That's in the copy. Talk to our producers about that. And have a fun time with us at a late night cafe jazz situation right there at Moby's. Then we got Oh, we've been building up for this for 2 years. It's finally happening. We're doing a Sailor Moon themed figure drawing event. That's going to be May 16th, 1/6 at our favorite brewing company here in NoHo. That's right. We're going to be back at Lawless Brewing Company May 16th. That's a Friday night. That's our third regular monthly Friday night figure draw, drink and draw. Bring your friends. Don't worry if you don't have any art supplies for any of these events. We always provide plenty for you to share and experience and try out. And yet, come draw some magical girl realness for our Sailor Moon themed figure draw May 16th. Then, golly, we're doing another free event Sunday, May 18th. We're going to be doing a bracelet and bookmark crafting event from 11 to 5 p.m. at the Catnip Flea. And that's going to be our heck of a May. And we still have so much going on. And we're going to be doing this live stream weekly. And look at that. We're 13 minutes in. How about we get into doing some figure and drawing? Why is this camera being delayed? Let's get that back camera going. Oh, it helps if the camera's... How's everyone doing tonight? Everyone having a good Tuesday? I hope so. I'm grateful you're all here. Let's mute that. Let's copy that. Don't you love doing live fixes? Look at that. Now let's turn that light on. I was trying to do something cute and I almost broke it. I meant this live stream. How's everyone doing tonight? Does anyone have any hands questions? Anyone got any trouble with hands? Anyone love them, hate them? I love hands. I love drawing them. Let me know if the screen is coming out too blurry for everybody. I noticed that on one of the other live streams. We did a testathon. Testathon. I love these auto-generated ones. Let's do a transition. Whee! Hello, everybody. How's it going? Why is that screen doing that? There she is. It doesn't look too bad, right? All right, so let's draw some hands. I think hands are incredibly emotive ways to commute. I think they're really important for storytellers. And I think they're really vital to kind of like treat as kind of like a tool that characters can use. I think the absence of hands has a lot to say about a character as much as how they use their hands. And especially when you think of like over-exaggerated caricatures and animation and even like really poignant images in graphic novels and manga, hands are a vital part in understanding the relationship for gesture. So we are going to start with doing some simple hand workouts. We're going to start warming ourselves up with some loose gestures with the idea of drawing hands, whatever that means to you, however you do it, whether it's Loomis method, whether it's by force and shape, whether you like to be messy and then carve. You can do this however you want, but we're just going to do some quick little baby warm-ups and get ourselves loosened up. And then after that, we're going to start like thinking about how to like craft and polish drawing hands. But if you have any questions or any struggles about anything, by all means, ask in the chat here on Twitch. If you're watching along on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment. I can probably get back to it after the stream. But I'll maybe ask my mod to like check in on the YouTube and see if anything shows up there and drop it here in the Twitch. So if it feels a tad redundant, don't worry. Thank you everyone for being here. Oh, my hair. Bless her heart. Let's get a little bit of liquid caffeine in us. As invigorating as it is dehydrating. And let's do some warm-ups. We'll just try to do some quick gesturing. I like to treat hands in pairs, so I'm going to try to draw them in pairs. And I keep it pretty fast and loose, so I'll start with like some pretty rudimentary line work. Oh, that's so washed out. I'm trying not to deny you guys the beauty of watching me draw a thing. Did that screen freeze? I hope it didn't freeze on you. Everyone let me know if the screen has frozen on them. Maybe it's just my end. You think it froze? Why don't we try swapping back? Transition. Ooh. I wonder what's going on there. Maybe if I unplug it, will something reset? How about we go back? How's everyone doing? Welcome to our first stream. Our first figure it out as we do it. You know what I think happened? Is it duplicated? I think it got duplicated. Oh no, that's just the background. Welcome everyone. I hope you're having a swell Tuesday. It's a good thing my face didn't freeze. Otherwise, you'd have no idea what we were doing. It's fascinating that the image has frozen. Did I not redo the refresh rate? Let's find out. Welcome to a live Figure It Out along. Refresh browser seems active. Yeah. Okay. No, it's supposed to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. What happens if I reassert? Yeah, it's the same one. Okay, fun. Maybe Video Ninja gets really used up on Tuesdays. Wowee. Is it a hang up? Yeah, prefer forced landscape? Huh. Excuse me, the same thing. We'll try one more. Welcome to the Draw Along, everyone, where we figure out how to get the camera that was working fine during the testathon to work again. Perhaps I did myself a disservice when I tried to add the easel cam, because I was maybe conflating two different codes of some sort. Hey, who doesn't love a first time where we figure it out as we go? Makes you feel like you can say you were there in the room when it happened. Look, yesterday when we were setting this up, when I say we, when Maeve was here doing most of the work, because that's, again, exactly what Maeve wanted to do. Thank you, Maeve. Thank you, Armad, for all of your kind work in setting up this auto caption, setting up this new overlay, these new widgets if we get followers. So let's see who the first one is. Telling me what raids mean. Old grandpa is still trying to figure stuff out. Oh, really? Yeah. Do you use Video Ninja? Because that's what I've been using, and it's just a browser. It's just a browser link. Maybe it's just the way that the gods of live streaming are trying to get me to, I don't know, clean my act up. If we don't have struggle, we forget how to stay humble. Yeah, I wish I could do that. Everything I've got is too old. Bless this 2012 MacBook Catalina. She's doing everything she can. Show source when not visible. Okay. Yeah, golly, it's doing what it should. Huh. Did I maybe break a thing? Wow. I love this for us. I love... Welcome, everyone. Oh, yeah. Look, I wish I could restart. Maybe... Hey, everyone on YouTube. I just opened up the YouTube browser. Trying to do this draw along. Now the camera's frozen. Maybe I need to just completely rebuild this video source from scratch. So watch me do that while we somehow manage to keep streaming, both here on Twitch and YouTube. So thank you to all our YouTube viewers. If you're not hearing any music on YouTube, just hop over to the Twitch and enjoy it with us. Don't worry, that's by design. Yeah, I don't want this anymore. Oh, I deleted the wrong thing. Does Control Z still? Thank goodness, Control Z does still work. All right, now let's remove you. Yes, we're going to remove you. Let's try turning you back on. We're going to just rename it back to what it was. Okay. Now we're going to copy that. Now we're going to recreate it all over again. Do, 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 do. All right. Is raiding with a party of 4? Don't freak out. The pen might be mightier than the sword, but the dragons are raiding with both. Oh, golly, wow. Welcome for the raid, guys. Thanks for watching me live fix a draw along cam that decided to freeze like 2 seconds into doing anything. So we're going to get that set up right now. 1920 by 1080, am I right? Dyslexia. No. No, not 1077, 1080. Oh, thanks, Mega Dragon. Appreciate that. Refresh browser rate. Yes. Control audio via OBS. Let's turn that off right now. Okay. Okay. We're cooking with something. Is it gas? And now it just went black again. Golly, we're having so much fun, everybody. I hope you're all having great Tuesday vibes, wherever you are. I am learning how to roll with the punches. So many punches. But, you know, what's different in 2025? Thank you for everyone on YouTube for joining us for this live stream. If you have any questions and you want to ask it directly to me, head on over to the Twitch. You can find all of those deets in the link on our website. You can scan this QR code. It'll take you right to the website with all the information you need. Head right on over. See what the fun's about. One more time. Copy. Paste. 1920. Not 1930. 1080. Not 1810. Control via OBS. Refresh frame rate. We're doing it, everybody. We're doing it. Golly. Who doesn't love a little last minute fixing things on the fly? Let's see if it blacks out again. Hopefully she'll keep her cool. Now the real trick is, how do I keep the camera locked so it doesn't constantly autofocus when I'm typing? But hey, let's look. That twitchiness. Can we warm up now? So for my gestures, I will just kind of start with like a little loose idea of where the fingers are going, and then I'll do the tips, and then I'll try to connect that with a little bit of a knuckle knowledge. And I try to do the most featured edge, which is usually the exterior edge. Light's a little intense. Try that there. Okay, well, I'll just draw another one down here. Now, I've drawn hands since I could draw. So for me, I kind of have a little bit more of like an intuitive knowledge. I like to think of drawing as a series of systems. You can think of like a system of knuckles, a system of fingers, a system of joints that probably interconnect with a bunch of stuff. So if you draw them in pairs, if you think of like, okay, I'm going to draw like the weight of the palm first, and then that'll teach me, okay, now I can draw the weight of each thumb. And I'm going to do one palm open facing towards us and the other palm closed back facing away from us here in this first one. Get you a little bit more zoomed in to appreciate that. And then however you like to do it, again, whether it's Loomis, whether you like to do like block and sculpt, which is kind of what I'm doing a little bit of here to like get the weight of all the fingers. There's also a relationship between like the distance of fingers. So if you see how my fingers, when they're even flat, they're not like straight across parallel like the edge of this pen. There's an arc to them, middle finger usually being the peak. Ring finger, only ever, for some it's different. Some they're slightly longer, some they're longer than their index finger. I just realized I was blocking my whole mouth from the microphone. Sorry, everyone. Thank you for joining us here. And then if you think of the thumb as kind of like the last edge before you go off the ravine of this mountain, you can kind of relay that when you see how they bend. Like, obviously the middle finger gets shorter first, just with the relationship with the knuckles. So what you can do is you can kind of like just do the edges of those fingers like that. You can do the edges of those fingers in relationship to each other, like by their distance, and then like sculpt in the gaps between each finger as they bend. I think I gave this guy an extra finger. We can cheat that. The important part is to draw, even if you make like an error, even if you make an error in pen. The beautiful part about drawing is you're creating the same neurological benefit doing this as you would doing poorly, because you're teaching yourself vital lessons each time you do this. The importance of when to add line weight for emphasis. The importance to be loose so your gesture feels fluid. The kindness it takes to not let your hypercritical voice shut you down before you get a chance to actually figure out what you need to, so that you can do it with more confidence and poise. Here, let's do some more. Now that I'm figuring out camera angles on the fly. Look at you, low battery mode. Thank you, everyone who helped set up during the testathon, who helped be our test audiences, who joined our moderator crew. who've helped an old codger like me figure out how to do all the things we're doing here at Nest of Friends so we can do better and more for our community here and afar. Oh, that's right. I could also just move this sketchbook, couldn't I? Grandpa's gonna figure out everything someday. First of which is how not to spill his coffee. Here, let's try head on. If you imagine the relationship between each knuckle and put it on an arch, you're usually really, really close to figuring out most of the hand. A lot of people start drawing the hand with the fingers, which is totally valuable depending on the perspective or the story that you're looking to tell with your hands as props. But sometimes it's really good to start from the bridge of the knuckles, like literally how all four knuckles are lined up with each other. If you do it facing forward, like if the fist is facing at you, and then also if the fist is facing away from you, if you can draw those two kinds of hands in sets for characters, you'll have a good grasp, no pun, on what their hands look like and how they use them. So the hands I'm drawing are already kind of meaty. Yeah, those closed captions are amazing. Great job to our mod for setting that up for us. Couldn't have done it without them. I'm going to throw in a little bit of perspective on these knuckles just to kind of like carve some shape into them. You can see I'm kind of emphasizing the joints before I'm even going in and drawing the full weight of it. The way I like to draw is a combination of like silhouette as spine, because that external shape is usually what's going to drive the motion of your line work, because that's the one that you're emphasizing. You have to think of like a picture sometimes from the outside in, and once it builds from the outside, then you can start to fill in those details. How about we move this mic a tad closer? Yeah, sure. I'll block my own self. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me wherever you are. I hope I'm coming through loud and clear. Near and dear. Now, I've already drawn these hands a little bit too close to each other, so they're like not necessarily appropriately up to each other, but this helps me build like a sense of my scale. I can re-emphasize where I want the joints to protrude from. The emphasis on the direction that I draw those joints kind of define the character, whether the knuckle is meaty, whether it's a little sallow and hollow. I'm also not in an urgent rush to connect all the lines when I draw. For me, it's good to kind of like draw from the exterior and even sometimes from the interior out, but it's important to like understand your line mileage, like the actual pencil and graphite and ink mileage you're getting with each stroke. It can sound a little technical as an artist, but if you actually treat your style with a little bit more specificity, like how you want to draw your lines, how you want to erase or craft your saturations, your values, your whatevers, that's technique. And you should do that for yourself. You owe that to yourself, and there's complete value in doing that. So, you know, if I'm making up rules here that don't vibe with you, feel free to explore what you're saying when you realize these things, and don't be afraid to change it up. Nothing I'm ever going to say, especially about making art, unless you're leading yourself to actual physical harm, which, by the way, never do that. There's no reason to, especially when making art. Art is not about harm. Art is about creating and life and joy and spreading messages. Now, messages can be poignant and timely, and sometimes when those times are not as bright as we may want them to be, that doesn't mean that art has any less value. But art should be at no cost or expense of human life to craft. So that said, you have no reason to be hard on yourself when you're making it. Otherwise, you're just imprinting what you're doing with a negative value that's just getting in the way of all your progress. So just even drawing these stylized little fists kind of mirroring each other has kind of taught me how going back and forth can kind of like keep my uniformity in check. And the way I draw the etchy, sketchy matter that I go about it kind of makes that work really well for me. Now, let's think of hands as emotive tools, as tools that are designed to communicate and tell a story. So, if we treat hands as things that can, like, be, expressive, which they are, we should think of things like joy, like that kind of, you can't see it, but like a kind of explosive kind of like burst, that reach, that desire, whatever that means for you. If you can kind of like, if you could like emit joy from your hands, like that was your mutant superpower, what would that feel like for you? It can be that simple if for your inspiration. And the beautiful thing about being an artist drawing hands is you always have a reference because you usually have a free hand. No pun. Um, Even inspecting it, readjusting it, making adjustments on the fly. This tool right here for your reference is vital. So think of like what joy means. I'm an Aries, so I love explosive bursts of energy. Um, I oh good, I'm glad the mic is coming through. Had to buy this on the fly after our previous sound system from the Testathon, like a couple hours before our next YouTube live stream test, crapped out, wouldn't turn on, and I had no other microphone. So thank you, Best Buy. Thank you to the general manager over at the Empire in Burbank Best Buy for pointing me in the right directions. Had he not asked, hey, what are you looking for? I wouldn't have thought to look in the gaming section. I would have only looked in the video section, and I probably would have bought a microphone that was too unnecessarily expensive. And I think I found the perfect thing for exactly what we needed. So, not going to drop sponsor names, but I would gladly be sponsored by this brand just for the value they did to save my life. Watch, I can touch this and mute everything. Look. That's right on the microphone, that mute button. That's so nice. It is a little guy. He's working perfectly. Let's talk hands again. Gosh, we're already 40 minutes in. I love this. Thank you, everyone. Let's do something explosive. So I'm gonna think of, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking a lot of curved lines exploding from the wrist. I already know it's gonna be palm facing up. I already know it's gonna be reaching. So you see how I'm starting from the interior and kind of like working my way up. Now I'm thinking, yeah. Now I'm doing the arches of each finger. And then I'm going back now that I've got an idea of where they land. Notice how it's good to kind of like have a root to build off of. So many people, and I've done this before and I'll do it again and I'll even do it next. We'll start with the fingers first, and I think starting from the palms is a vital way to, like, even with ink and building up like I'm doing right now without even thinking of like erasing anything, you can kind of like correct some mistakes, start loose, redefine. Darker lines towards the bottom just to kind of give an emphasis of weight and just fake a little bit of value trickery. Oh yeah, this playlist adjustment was the right playlist adjustment. If you're just joining us on YouTube and you want to hear the music, head on over to the Twitch, join us in the live chat. If you're finding this valuable, I hope you've already put on your favorite playlist and you're enjoying my banter. Trying to build up our community here at Nest of Friends, one draw along at a time every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Can't wait to see you there. Put me on in the background while you're making dinner. Hang out and chat. Let me know what your recipes are. I'm trying to do more cooking myself. It's kind of my over the hill project for myself, is learning how to be a better chef. Here, now I'm going to start doing just a little bit of fingertip relationships. So I emphasize where I want my thumb to land. This is now going to be my index finger. There's my relationship to the ring finger. I'm sorry, to the middle finger, and then there's the ring finger. And then I'm going to draw the pinky at a slight angle so that I can kind of then emphasize, yeah, there's the arc of the knuckle. There's the pinch in the palm where it meets the thumb. The arc of the index, the arc of the ring, the slight bent of the pinky. Doing a little forced perspective trickery, kind of like a little flat ham hock situation. Just a little bit of emphasis for where those knuckles land, and then go back and redefine how sharp I want those knuckles to be. And look at that, right? Definitely playing with some fun little ideas on how you can draw hands. If you want to emphasize it and add a little bit of character, here we'll add a little watch. A little wristband. Play with the idea of where the nails and the knuckles cut into this. Maybe give him a little bit of a wedding ring. Sometimes if you have to like refatten something, I like to just make that like a shaded layer. Right? Not bad. Not bad at all. So, let's come back. Let's see. Making slow cooked barbecue pulled pork chicken sandwiches and fries. That sounds really good right now. That sounds really good. Making me hungry. I'm grateful. I love the best way to enjoy life is for your stomach. I always say. And the best way to appreciate that dish is by doing the dishes, because a good meal is worth a clean plate. And that's how I had to trick myself into loving doing dishes. And I'm grateful for it. Another lesson for my midlife is learning to appreciate those things better. Here, let's try drawing a hand. It's kind of like doing some like downward force. Gotta start with the wrist. Knuckle, knuckle, knuckle. Oh no, I hear the crows honking outside. I hope those mockingbirds aren't scaring them away for their nesting. Boy, do I hate mockingbirds. They're such little dicks. Kind of doing like a splayed, expressive hand gesture. Pressing down into the dirt below. Trying to show a little bit of the external, the upward weight of it, like pressing down. What does everyone else like to draw? Do they like to draw hair? Do they like to draw faces? What do you think? Oh, welcome, cute as fuck doodles. What's my favorite thing to draw? We're actually drawing it right now. We're drawing hands. I love drawing faces. I love drawing hair. I love drawing hands. I love drawing character, and I think a lot of those things have to do with everything. But yeah, let everyone tell me. I'm still learning how to Twitch, guys. Forgive me for jumping on that. So yeah, that's my answer. Ask me how I can help everyone draw hands better, or if they want to draw hands in more fun ways. I'm kind of just walking through my techniques, how I ideate, how I warm up, doing some quick little hand gestures, no pun. And then I'm thinking when we get to 7, I'll pivot and we'll do some more drawing along. It's fun that you. Thank you for being here, Peachy. Thank you for being here. Uh, that's very specific. Wrists. Fascinating. I wish I could say more than just fascinating. Why wrists? Out of all curiosity. No judgment. No tea, no shade, no pink lemonade. Speaking of, muty. Unmuties. I think about how delicate they are, how delicate they can be. Okay. Women minus hands and feet. I mean, who doesn't like drawing women? That's great. We can definitely do a drawing women um, workshop. I would love. I mean, who wouldn't love doing that? So let me know in the comments. Wrists might be hard. We can do wrists with this. Honestly, I think that's a lot. You know what we can do in the third act? I'll start drawing. I'll show you how I draw hands with the face in mind and their relationship that helps me make them more emotive. I don't think I can describe it with words. Well, it's a good thing you can draw it with pictures. You just might need to put that behind a Patreon paywall. I'm making this thumb so ungobsmackingly long. And that's okay. I will say Grey's Anatomy, not the show, the actual book, can be a very fun way to advance your skills in learning to do anatomy. Because just knowing you have that reference there can be really empowering, and you can just pull it right up. You can also just look this up online. The only thing I can draw is Aaron. We shall see on Thursday if I can overcome this. The only thing you can't draw is Aaron, one of our models from Sketch by Sketch. Fascinating. I break down drawing for me. Here's the secret sauce. I break down drawing pretty rudimentary. Rudimentally. I don't know why this is the case. Okay. Well, I'll fight my testosterone need to fix things. But for me, the trick that I learned to get over same face syndrome, which is also the same trick that I used to get over like face block, which is how do I draw this person's face? And then you try to go and draw it or anything. It's just a block. If you try to go and draw something and you're like, this doesn't work, or there's nothing connecting, there's nothing fluid. The simplest way is to kind of like go back to your fundamentals. And when I say fundamentals, I'm talking about like drawing I'm talking about drawing fundamentals. I'm not talking about artistic fundamentals. There's only 3 fundamentals in drawing. A true line, which is just how you go from A to B. We call it a straight line, but straight line implies perfection, and a true line is what's good, what gets you from A to B. So it starts with how we relate to how we draw, and that starts with how we talk about it. And that means talking about it to yourself. So if you think of a true line as just how you go from A to B, and you don't call it a straight line, so you can separate that very, very subconscious need to be perfect, where you need like to hold Control Shift in Photoshop, or you need to bring out a ruler. If you get rid of that and you just make it purely and simple, how do I get from A to B? Which is going from here to here. For me, I start firm, I take off, and I lift off. So I'm literally Pressure, pivot, pace. Pressure, pivot, pace. That's how you make every line. So for me, okay, that's how I'm making true lines. Then the second fundamental of the three is curved lines. How do you go from A to B without being true? How do you arc? And then the third one, pretty simple. How do you go from A to B by bisecting the axis? So how do you squiggle? So if you think of that as simple as making an S, if you do warm-ups that revolve around rebuilding these rudimentary relationships with your line work, if you can like imagine building a warm-up for like 15 seconds each, 30 seconds each, different tools, different directions. If you do that before you start drawing, even during a figure drawing or during a deadline session, just getting these warm-ups, these flexions out of your system can, one, remind you, okay, I just did this with this tool in this hand. Now, when I go to draw someone's face or someone's hand, oh, hey, welcome. Look at that first emote alert. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the draw along. Life lessons no one asked for about how to draw hands better. So doing those little warm-ups can, hey, little Echo, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining Nest of Friends. We're drawing hands. We're warming up right now, and we're talking about warm-up techniques before we do another workout after this, where we start drawing characters emoting with hands. So the three fundamentals: true lines, how do you go directly from A to B? Don't call it a straight line. If you think of curved lines as how to arc on A to B, and then if you think of squiggle lines as how to bisect that true line axis, i.e. how to make an S curve, how to make a squiggle, even if that means going multiple times just to show yourself. And then the other part is your relationship with your body. Are you doing all of this from your wrist? Are you doing all of this with the fleck of your thumb and your finger from your wrist? Are you using your elbow? Are you using your shoulder? Are you pivoting off of your hip? Are you doing it on an easel? Are you doing it on a tablet? How are you making the line? Have that quick check-in with yourself every time. And then forget all of it and just draw. Really, truthfully, like give yourself a little mental check-in, do a little warm-up, see how your tools are tooling, then see how your body is using it. Then remind yourself, these are the three lines. These are the three ways to draw any picture. So when you set your goal, whether it's drawing hands, getting better at drawing faces, figuring out how to draw hair, figuring out how to have more fluidity in your draftsmanship so your animation feels more lively, doing these little check-ins each time you draw, each time you come to the page, putting it on the same page as your ideations, as your polished sketches, doing those things shows your work, shows you your work, shows you your technique. And that's how you craft how you do what you do best. You probably already don't realize you do that, but if you started adding warming up to every time you draw, even if it's just doodling, I promise you, I promise you, you will teach yourself so much about what you're struggling with because you're already teaching yourself how to talk to yourself about what you're doing. Because drawing is an action. It's not talent. Drawing is an action. You do it without thinking. You just have to give yourself permission to do it. When you overthink it, that's when you get in the way of it. That's when you get hypercritical. He said while over talking during his draw along. Gosh. Anyone who's joining us on YouTube, head on over to the Twitch if you want to comment. If you are enjoying my company parasocially, I hope you're listening to a playlist. Oh, you were overthinking today? That happens, dude. You just gotta remember to be kind to yourself when you do it. Easier said than done. 1,001% Easier said than done. I got more page to fill. Try to leave no page naked. See how long this little light on my camera rig lasts. I'm really impressed by it. Thanks, Olight. Not a sponsor, but just a great tool. You were drawing dragon hands? That's right. I was on our friend's Twitch earlier because I happened to see while I was setting up for this that they were live. So thanks to Dragon Hands do sound fun. Thanks to Mega Dragon. I mean, with a name like Mega Dragon, you better be drawing dragon hands. Maybe I'll draw a dragon hand right now. I'm going to try to think off the top of my head. So if I'm drawing dragon hands, I'm obviously thinking about claws. I think when we think monster hands, claws are such a great character. And look, we just talked about curved lines. So here, I'm going to do them in sets of 3. Yeah. Here, I'm going to do them in sets of 3. See how I'm kind of like starting from the same point and like building the weight off of that? Give themselves for it. And now I'm going to do the thumb. Just like that. Something simple. Now I'm going to think about the bulbs of their finger beds when I do this curved line. All I've done is I've made 10 sets of lines. Literally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can kind of already see maybe where we're going. Now, do the opposite direction for where the knuckle will be. I'm just doing 3 sets in infinite variety to show myself a pattern. Now, can you kind of make out where we're going? Can you kind of see? Dragon, actually, I'm going to challenge you, Mega Dragon. If one cannot draw hands well normally, dragon hands can feel hard. But if you actually treat it the other way, since I can't draw regular hands, if I give myself permission to draw outlandish or, fantastical hands, you can kind of give yourself a little bit more license to not be so accurate. But it's the same fundamentals. Like, you can either choose to build off of an arc or you can choose to build off of points. You can start externally or internally. You've got your Loomis methods. You've got your gesture drawing. You've got your ability to carve what you draw. It doesn't matter what your technique is. You can just create your own rules and your own relationships. I did it just now with dragon hands. I made myself rules of 3, so 3 strokes for each initial shape. I started with the points being each points of the claw, so I'm making a picture where the hand is facing me, so it's going to look like it's grabbing. I can go back and re-emphasize lines that aren't working to me. Now I'm feeling like I'm going to do the whole silhouette of the hand. So I know it's facing towards me. I feel like it's actually reaching kind of like in a 3/4. So if this was like a keyframe for an animation, I'm going to make it look like it's reaching for something over here, but it's actually coming from a foreground perspective based on that. So if this is my keyframe, I would probably zoom out into a giant hand reaching for this character. I'm going to redraw those lines because they're so thin. So now I make a little composition. Look how I'm making a little bit more rules for myself just to make this more interesting, just for this little baby sketch. Now I'm going to treat the silhouette of the hand with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go back towards the thumb, 1, 2, 3. Now you can kind of make out the shape of the hand. Now if I understand that the palm is underneath here, and look, you're afraid of getting lost in this, you can just kind of go back, re-emphasize the parts that you think are missing. Use your reference. Don't be afraid to look up and see where your references of hands that you've made, whether it's from a Pinterest board or a Google search. And then from here, look, you want to draw a wrist? Let's draw a wrist. And look at that. And I'm going to draw a little guy. Make this my camera perspective. Make this my... Gonna make him run away. Look at the little scene we're building. Now, here, let me come in with a better pen. Yeah, That'll do. Since I've got a thicker pen, I'm going to focus on making my thicker lines, my downward facing lines, so that way I can cheat the idea of shadow and light, even if it's just the slightest bit of an idea. I'm choosing which parts of the line to emphasize through thickness and through gradient or grouping and patterning. I'm letting my wrist tell me when I'm too tight. I'm letting my shoulder tell me when I lock up. I'm finding a little bit of joy in exploring these ideas. I'm using my stroke language to justify my pencil mileage or my pen mileage, how many strokes I spend in each area. Sometimes I evolve from a pattern of 3, sometimes I evolve from a pattern of 5. 8 can be a great number. If you're thinking of like darker values, this is how you hash. This is how you decide, okay, if I'm going to work in the wrist and emphasize that relationship, how many lines do I need to make that emphasis feel good and comfortable? Do I want it to have a soft weight? Do I want it to have a firm weight? Do I want to have a stretchy weight? You got to like decide. And this is your technique. This is your relationship with the lines you're crafting. When you're drawing, you're just taking that action. So don't be afraid to overthink how you can improve. Where you fail is when you overthink about your failures. Don't let your failures get in the way of emphasizing what you can and like to do. Okay? Yeah, see, and then I'm going to make another emphasized line here to kind of make some like bulbous knuckles. Get off of that human hand mindset that we were just talking about. Emphasize where those nails protrude. Maybe do some like actual hashing. Kind of like emphasize a scale-like relationship. Choosing a consistent pace to like build a texture. That's why it's good to do your warm-ups with the tool you're using. Even though I swapped from a 0.2 to a 0.3, doing those true line warm-ups right here at the top of this hand gesture, that really showed me where I'm at right now with my draftsmanship. So being able to like think about it that way really helps. And being able to have it as a frame of reference teaches me so much. See? Look at that. See? Does that help? Does that help anyone? Is that good knowledge? I hope that's valuable knowledge. Here, let's pull out this. Just do a little bit of value breakdown. Gets a little muddy when you mix the values, but, you know, we're just sketching. Thank you for the line weight comment. We don't like to talk about people's line weight. We don't know what their journeys are. I'm kidding, of course. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Come on, you want to charge. All right. We broke the hour. We all did it. We're here together. Let me take a minute. Let's go back to the main screen. Hey, everyone. Thank you for being here. Look at this cute little mic, right? Time for some liquid courage. I would love to hear what you would like to see next. I think we should think of a character emotion. Happy, sad, mad, glad. Let's be a little bit more specific with our choices. We're talented folk here. We want to make talented decisions. So the more specific we get, the better. But yeah, let me have some liquid coffee. Sorrow. Okay. That's one suggestion. I'm not saying it's the only suggestion. I'm just looking for a couple more. While I think about what pen I should use, I'm going to find you guys the best way to see what we're doing. God, I don't do brush. I don't do brush a lot. 0.8? Gosh, that's meaty. And dry. Boy, is it dry. Meaty and dry. Just the way our Protestant colonizers like their roast beef. Those monsters. I can say that. What about you? Did you do a pencil? Royal pencil charcoal medium? I mean, I don't hate it. I just don't really draw with charcoal. Definitely has some interesting character qualities. It's also got that nice ch. No, I work digitally too. I like to draw traditionally. I think there's nothing more gratifying than drawing traditionally. But until I can figure out how to get the iPad to talk better to OBS, which maybe I'll do by next week, for now, we're doing this on pencil and paper. How does everyone in the chat like to draw? What's their favorite way to draw? Traditional and medium. Look, I like both. They're just different. I love the ability to draw with anything digitally, but I don't like to paint. But I like to draw with paint when I draw digitally. I also like the ability and the freedom of knowing whatever I make traditionally, if it's something I really want to explore, I can just take a picture of it on my phone. I don't even scan anything. This is how messy I am. I take a picture of it on my phone, and then I'll alter it digitally so that I can do what I really wanted to do with that image. But that's the beautiful thing about drawing traditionally. Now that I have that relationship with how I draw digitally, I can let my traditional drawing feel a lot more free and a lot less restrictive, because even if I draw directly with ink, I know I can go back digitally and I can take a picture of it. I can redraw what I wanted from that rough traditional sketch and leave out what I didn't want, because it's just as important for me as an ideator and a storyteller who illustrates to get the idea out of my head and put it somewhere real. That's my technique. That's my method of storytelling. And that's my preferred way of drawing. So for me, being able to get the idea out of my head, not worry about how pretty, how messy, how glamorous, or how good it looks, is so much more important. I'm going to save this light a little bit of time. Is so much more important. Now I look so dark. This is what I get. What if I do this? Not my best look. Yeah, we're going to fix that. That's better. It's so much more important for me to do it that way, if that makes sense. To think about, now that I can draw both digitally with a traditional drawing as part of my workflow, I can let myself be a lot more forgiving, a lot less hypercritical, because as long as I create the patterns and the ability to block out the idea that is stuck in my head, whether it's for storytelling, whether it's from a dream I had, whether it's to kind of translate something that words can't express. I'm doing a consulting job this starting tomorrow for a friend. Actually, it's Moby's. It's Moby's Coffee and Tea. I'm helping them do some contracting work. But for me, I'll point at a wall. I'll say you should do this. And then because my skills come with a certain level of knowledge as a carpenter and as a scenic designer and as a consultant, I have to recognize that some folk don't necessarily have access to that knowledge. So to make sure we're both on the same page, I have my clipboard, I have my pencil, I draw out some true lines, some curved lines, some squiggle lines in the right combination, the right variety to say this is where I think this cabinet should be hung, or this is where this fridge is going to fit, or this is how we get this crown molding up. So for me, doing stuff digitally, and we'll get to the drawing for the rest of the evening in a second. For me, drawing digitally is just another great way to elaborate how I draw traditionally. So that if my head isn't as proportional as I like it to be, and I'm already 20 minutes into the drawing and I've already drawn every detail in the hair, I'm not like, oh, nobody look at this. I'm like, no, I can take this and I can scan it, and without even redrawing anything, I can just shrink that head back down and reproportion it. Or I can skew it a bit to kind of like make the angle a lot more energetic with just like the tweak and a degree of a selection tool. Like, that's awesome. And that's great. And that's what makes me love drawing digitally. It does not change how much I love drawing traditionally. In fact, it amplifies it. So, no, I don't only work traditionally. Boy, can I talk. Let's get back to drawing. Let's draw some character, relationship. The only suggestion I saw was sorrow, which seems a bit dramatique. But who am I to deny anyone a good time? I am going to look up some reference on drawing some sorrow real quick. How's everyone enjoying the playlist? Thanks again, Stream Beats. Squeebada pop pop boop pop buddy bada boo bada dee do 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 do. Make sure. Sorrow hands. Dee da da da. Oh, sorry. Helps if I learn how to type. Beep a dop a dop. So many screens. All right. Let's get going. So, if we're going to draw sorrow, which I hope there's no sorrow in your life. Let's draw. Just type in sorrow, hands, face, reference into Googs. We got a few. So obviously we think sorrow, we think sad, we think of a very specific kind of loss. If we think of the relationship of hands to that emotion, you'd imagine anything sad, there's going to be tears or tear stain. So without drawing too much on the face, we're going to focus on drawing the whole relationship between the hands and the face. So if you like to do Loomis method, here, let's go back to our, hey, come on, there she is. So if you like to draw with the Loomis method, a completely beautiful, valuable, and almost nigh universal way. There we go. Zoom back out a little. A completely beautiful and natural way to think about drawing. Move our microphone. You got to think of your shape language. Now, we've talked about shape language at some of our previous workshops in the way past. So if I'm re-emphasizing anything, actually, this is our first time. I'm thinking of when I was doing sketch by sketch. So the relationship between the hands and the face, if we come to our little screen here, if you think of it as a set of two and then an anchor point being the face, these two hands in pairs are anchored to the face. So think of it like a triangle. So if that is our head, and we just do one hand here and one hand here, this creates a triangle. This creates a relationship. Just by doing this much right here. Just by doing that much right there, we've established a relationship. We can build off of this now. So if we think of this relationship, this triangle between the hands and the head, we can now come back in here and through any series of line work that you like to do, you can come back in and create a relationship with these anchor points. So going off of how we like to use our shape language to craft our hands, you know I like to go outward in. I like to start with the palms. And then you can do the same thing with the shoulders. I like to work in the angles and the gesture of where the wrist and the elbows bend. And that allows me to kind of build off of the rest of their body. Do a little bit of a shrug. See how I'm kind of hopping around? Emphasizing like the gesture of the character versus like completing the face and then like designing the outfit and then figuring out how to draw the hand once I've gotten everything I really want to get done with this picture out of the way. But I did it off of this relationship between the triangle. So as we move forward and we draw sorrow and other emotions with the hands, we now have this relationship to think about whenever we're drawing the hands in tandem with the face. And I promise you, if you treat that relationship with every character you draw, whether they're in profile and it's like from a stoic reference, or whether you're trying to ideate from scratch in your head based on your mental library and the wealth of insight that you may have garnered from your years of experience drawing the human anatomy, as long as you try to re-evaluate your relationships, create your own rule set, create your own game mechanic, if you will, to how you draw, you will find a level of uniformity that you may not have known existed in your work or in your style because you've created relationships. Relationships with the hands to each other, with the hands to the face, with the character to the emotion in the environment. Those relationships build off of how you draw. And you create those relationships with your drawing before you start doing it. You got to think about like how to imbibe the vibe, how to like project the point in the story that your character is experiencing, even if it's in a single still image, whether it's a Renaissance painting or a doodle fan art for your spicy Patreon. Like all of it, what helps you stand out is what you create with your relationship with your art. So Now that we've got sorrow as an option, let's create another image with that in mind. In mind. Come to our Jazz and Draw. We're going to have a live band and a model. Come to all of our events, everyone. We got so much stuff coming up. Here, let's... Sorrow involves a lot of crying, so let's emphasize the... Let's just look at our subject directly. Here, get you guys the best angle possible. Let's, instead of, you know what? We're gonna think of our character. We're gonna feminize this character. I'm gonna draw, this is the arc of the knuckles. Follow me out. That's the top of the palm facing away from us. That's the bend in the wrist. Can you see it? Maybe you can see where we're going. Now, to frame that out, let's emphasize the exterior of the hand. Let's have it bisect the cheek and the chin. It may even push that over a little bit just to kind of give the character weight a little bit more emphasis. Get that bend in the wrist. Now, let's establish some knuckle. Yeah, let's establish knuckles. I hope you're all enjoying the playlist. It's not one of our sketch by sketch originals, but I am grateful for it. Now I've got a reference character with some bangs, so that might be nice because bangs are the universal haircut of sadness. Don't quote me. I don't make the rules. Definitely these asymmetrical bangs. It's a choice. Emphasis on the choice. But it also helps hide our imperfections. Hair's great for adding layers and weight. It also is great for hiding imperfections in that way. Let's emphasize the curve. Oh, phone. I need you to charge, phone. You gotta be able to deliver a stellar performance for everyone here who's watching along at home. Sorry, everybody. Let's draw where that pinky ends. Yeah. Giving this gal stubbier fingers than I probably intended to, but, you know. Draw the fingers at the same time. Draw the palm at the same time. Draw the wrists at the same time. Go back and forth. Don't get too trapped in one form of the line work. Getting your directional strokes done in pairs is a great way to keep your uniformity in check when you draw. If you need to re-emphasize things, you can always come back later. It also helps you getting like stuck and like, oh, that looks like crap. If you keep moving around the page, it gives you less time to like get stuck in like your, oh, this is crapism, you know? Oh, this is so sad. Her poor bangs. That's what happens when you cut your own hair. She's looking nice. Kind of carving away to figure out who this gal is with her sad bangs. I hope the chat is still alive online. I hope it didn't scare you all away. I hope this is fun for you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here for our draw along. If you want to support Nest of Friends wherever you are, scan the QR code right below my talking head. Visit our website. Check out all the cool events we've got going on. We've got our Rings of Power event coming up this Thursday, May 1st, at our new First Thursday venue, Geeky Teas, here in Burbank, California. Come see two models dressed as characters from the hit Amazon series. Fill your reference with more swords and sorcery than you ever have desired. I'm making this gal a real beef queen. Look at that waifu. Who doesn't like a muscle mom? Speaking of Mother's Day, on Mother's Day Eve, we're going to be doing a jazz and draw. Come draw a fella dolled up like the god of wine and parties themselves, Dionysus, for our Saturday date night jazz and draw, live figure model, live jazz band at the same time at Moby's Coffee and Tea. Find out all that info at the QR code right there. Keep drawing, sad lady. I'm stacking my lines with my trusty number 2 micron because I guess I like a 0.2 millimeter stacked line value. Story of my life. Is that too fuzzy for everybody? Is that not clear enough? Look at that. That's so much better. She's coming along, singing a song. See, drawing hands is about drawing the whole character. We can't really just do 2 floating hands and not draw the whole person. She's got some mannish figure gestures. I'm not going to lie. My biggest struggle growing up drawing was drawing man hands for everything. But we don't kink shame here at Nest of Friends. So for some people, that's a style choice. And that's what they like. Gosh, this is a lot of fun. I'm really grateful for everyone who's helped us get this stream started. It really means the world to our community to be able to do this and grow and hopefully meet more of you wherever you are in the world. I'm going to give this gal a modest top. Because she's sad. Doesn't mean she can't feel presentable as our figure drawing for this evening. I can do a little bit more emphasis. Sketch, are you putting pencil work in after inking? Controversial. I know, bold take, right? Sometimes it's good to change up your relationship with your tools. Makes you appreciate them in new and better ways. See how I'm kind of going around just making like 5 dashes, 3 dashes, building patterns, stacking. I'm a big James Montgomery Flagg fan. If you don't know him, we'll talk about him more because I'll never shut up about him. But America's first celebrity illustrator, arguably one of the best. You do know his work because he is the fellow who was commissioned to draw the "I Want You, Uncle Sam" for the U.S. Army propaganda posters. Yeah, that guy. There's a reason he was hired. I probably should fill in the rest of her face. Or we can make a sad shade line. Oh, she's so sad about these bangs. Make him a little more frazzled. Well, everybody, I hope you're having a great Tuesday with us. Let me know in the chat what you'd like to see for next week. Maybe I'll do hair. Just hair. Take more questions. Check in on everybody. We can chat about how great the Rings of Power figure draw went. You can tell me what you're planning to cook for next week. We can talk more about methodologies and practices when it comes to drawing. I got my Sketch by Sketch pencil. Here, tell me if this is good ASMR. We're going to shave this pencil fresh, this Sketch by Sketch pencil. What's this? Is this painful for everybody? Or is this cathartic? Anyone on YouTube, you don't even have the soundtrack to block out these pencil shavings that are appearing right now. I guess everyone's making dinner right now. I hope you're all having a good time making dinner in the chat. Please do not run over from your burner just to make me feel less perceived or more perceived. We're building our audience one meal at a time here at Sketch by Sketch and Nest of Friends. Come check out our events. Come check out our free events. We've got a lot coming up. Let's go through that reminder. Thursday, May 1st, we got Rings of Power right there at Geeky Tees. And then following that, we've got Saturday, May 3rd, free event at Anime. That's going to be for the anime celebration over at Geeky Glamorous. Join us in Sherman Oaks. Make some paper dolls. Do some adult coloring books with us. You know I'll be drawing, so come on over. Come on over, baby. I'm switching up the directions in the hair so you can see the split and kind of re-emphasize how sad those bangs make her. Sad bangs. Here with our illustrious Sketch by Sketch pencil. This one's pre-ink stained with love, but you can get yours at our Sketch by Sketch events. We've also got Nest of Friends tote bags. I'm sorry, we've got Sketch by Sketch tote bags. We've also got Guys, Gals, Non-Bind Pals, stickers, and t-shirts. Yeah. Sponsored. Wednesday, May 7th, our next free event is a drop-in over at Moby's Coffee and Tea. Join us 7 p.m. Just buy a coffee to support a local business. Come draw with us. Come hang with us. Come socialize with us. Come chill. It's going to be a fun Wednesday night affair, May 7th. That's next week, not tomorrow. And then we got our Jazz and Draw May 10th. That's the day before Mother's Eve. Bring your favorite mom. Bring your favorite MILF for our date night, 9 to 11 p.m. at Moby's Coffee and Tea with a live jazz band. Tickets are already on sale. Go to the link in the bio. Scan this QR code. Take you right there to the website, nestoffriends.org. Friday, May 16th, we've got Sailor Moon figure drawing. Join us for something we've been planning for 2 years. You know you don't want to miss it. And then Sunday, May 18th, we've got a bracelet and bookmark crafting event at Catnip Flea. We're going to be set up all day. I'll be doing some live drawing. Come craft with us for free during a pop-up market in Burbank, California. We got 20 minutes left. Let's draw Sad Bangs Gal. trying to emphasize the sad light that's hitting her from this upward direction, making a choice that light is coming from here. So we're going to emphasize the shade on this side. I'm just stacking and carving and stacking. That's how I draw. Doing line work in groups and dimension helps me understand, like, if I was to paint this, or if I was to go back as like a comic book inker and re-emphasize these lines for print, this tells me what the directions and the ideas and the value for the line weight I'm looking to accomplish when I finish this. So even as a loose little sketch, I can start thinking about like what's important if this were a final piece. This allows me to go back and like re-emphasize key points. So now when I look back on this, live stream sorrow, I can remember where I was when I did this. And if I put the date down, like you always should, I can remember how far I've come in between drawing this and the next time I draw. And that, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and Nesties one and all, is a great way for you to journal your journey in art making. Is to think of everything as something you can catalog. Think of the relationships between the elements that you're drawing, whether it's the silhouette, the scope, and the scale. The pace, the pivot, the pressure of each of your strokes, the direction, the angle, the way you come about it, whether it's a true line, a curved line, a squiggle line, how many times you decide to make those lines grouped and patterned to build off of them. That helps you create your technique. That helps you create your style. That helps you create a workflow so that you have a good idea of what your pencil mileage is. That pencil mileage determines the minutes and then hours that you put into the work. Determining the minutes and the hours of the work you put into it makes them billable, makes it something you can emphasize, because now you understand, especially when you come to our figure draws and we do these timed interval drawings, you can get an understanding when you do that with us, how much you can do in 5 minutes, how much you can do in 10 minutes, how much you can do in 30 minutes. And then you multiply that when you do a commission, when you're hired on a job to do some boarding or some revisioning. You now understand when your boss says, hey, can you do X? Or a client says, hey, could I get this commission by this date? You now have a better idea through your own warm-ups, through your own figure drawing experiences, through your own dated and cataloged sketches, how long it takes you to do those things. And that gives you the confidence to do so much more the more you do it. So that's how we build off on these. Speaking of the last 20 minutes, we've got 20 more. Let's do one more. Why not? I'm going to try... Should I do it with this charcoal pencil? Should I do a hand? How about if I do like a bunny finger? So I'm drawing the middle finger here, the index finger here, and the thumb. So watch how I build off on that. These are really fat fingers, so... I don't hate how that came out. I'm going to make this a little forgiving. I'm going to make it gloves. So choosing styles can help too. So Pivoting from a thicker, chunkier charcoal pencil definitely influenced how I decided to craft these particular lines. But for me, I think it had a lot of value in showing you how simply and how quickly you can kind of get your idea across. What happens if I try to do this, but I'm going to emphasize like kind of like a hop skippy, like he's doing bunny ears. So if this is frame 1, we'll make this frame 2 in this little 3-panel hand comic we're making. I'm just changing up the direction. Just kind of give it that idea that it's going from there to there. I'm going to re-emphasize the thicker values on the bottom, just to kind of emphasize where the weight is going. Maybe do some motion gesture just to show kind of the idea that it was heading that way. And here, we'll do our 3rd frame next to that. This is real rudimentary. This is kind of so simplistic, but I hope it offers a little bit more insight into what you can do once you've gotten more familiar with your tools, once you've started to build your own technique, once you've incorporated warm-ups. And next time we do this, when we do our next Tuesday live stream, we'll build in some workout and warm-up times to really kind of like share and express some of the ideas that I'm talking about here. And now, a little bit of composition, which composition is just a nice way to say frame it out. Look at that. Ain't that nice? What a heck of a way. What a heck of a way to spend a Tuesday. I really appreciate everyone for making the time to join us for our live Nest of Friends draw along. I've been your host, Sketch Williams, and I'm so grateful for everyone being here. It really means the world. Oh no! Seems like we've lost some picture. Let me know if you can all see me. I'm going back to the live stream manager. There it is. Okay, we're still here. Yeah, thank you everyone for sharing this art journey with us here at Nest of Friends. Really means the world to me, your host, Sketch Williams, and to the entire community here, online and in the San Fernando Valley. Yeah, I hope this was informative for everybody. I hope this was fun. I hope we had a fun time doodling some hands together. If you're joining us on YouTube, thank you for watching along. Please feel free to hop over to the Twitch. And as time goes on, we'll definitely evolve our ability to communicate so I can hear from everyone in our lovely, amazing community. I really, really, really am grateful for everyone who can show up and does show up. And feel free to tell your friends, let them know we're here, let them know that Nest of Friends is going to start doing more, if you can believe it or not, more things, not just IRL, but online here. We got a podcast coming out soon, getting the work on that real soon. I would love to talk to all of you about how we can evolve that and maybe take questions from our community here. And see us in real life. We'll be at Geeky Tees this Thursday, May 1st, for our Rings of Power themed figure drawing event. These hands are fun. I'm glad we did this. I hope this was informative and helpful for you all. I hope you can enjoy the vibe of this draw along every Tuesday wherever you are. As we grow and as we develop and as we share what we do more here, we're definitely going to start doing more exclusives and more tiers. I would love to have a hang session just so I can chat with more of our community members online as we build them up. So down the line, you can expect live stream patron or Substack tier level engagement directly with those folk. But, in the meantime, we're open to all, and we can't wait to see how you can come and join us on this journey. Make sure to scan the QR code right here below my head. That takes you to nestofriends.org. You can find all the info on tickets for our upcoming events, as well as how you can make a tax-deductible donation if you feel so inspired and so inclined. We would love your support in any form you can share. It means the world to us. Hopefully it means the world to you. And hopefully you can take part in all the amazing stuff that we've got coming up this May. I'm already exhausted thinking about it, but I'm grateful that we are able to foster the kind of world that we want to see. And doing these events with Nest of Friends, with Sketch by Sketch, has been the best way we can start to craft the kind of community that we want to create and curate. So if that's something you want to see more of, please make sure to visit the website here in the QR link here on the stream. I would love to see more of you here. I'm not going to lie. We're just started, and I'm grateful for everyone who's able to join us on the journey. And I really hope that more folks will come along and help create a lively chat and create another lively, cool space online so that we can create more content and do more stuff for you. I am really grateful for an opportunity to share my love of drawing, and I'm really grateful for what Nest of Friends provides folks. So I hope that we can provide more crafting occasions, more kinds of unique experiences that just don't exist. It's all about craving and creating a third space, that kind of world that you wish existed when we were younger, that we kind of had to make on our own, and that is welcoming, that isn't bar culture, that isn't nightlife culture. It's not a comedy show. It's not a theatrical show, but you'll have fun, and things may be theatrically inclined given, my stagehand experience and my co-producer Jen's production and immersive themed inspirations. We're really grateful to have created something unique with Sketch by Sketch and Nest of Friends, and that's a reflection of you, the people who come and enjoy it with us. So we're really, really, really appreciative of all of you for being here, for joining us, for supporting us, and for yeah, just, being a part of the journey. I'm looking on Twitch, I'm looking on YouTube, and look, hey, the engagement is engaging, and it's small, but it's all something that will add up over time. And I am grateful, just like they said in Step Brothers, the movie featuring Will Ferrell. It's like, when they put on those night vision goggles, when he and John C. Riley, after they finish making those adult bunk beds for each other, John C. Riley puts on his night vision goggles. Will Ferrell joins him. They both start goofing around. And Will Ferrell says, how great would it have been if we had this when we were 14? And John C. Riley, without skipping a beat, maybe it's flipped flopped. Disease is a real dyslexia. But he immediately says, even better, we've got them now that we're 40. And that's kind of how I feel about live streaming. I will admit, here, let's go to the main cam for our closer. Hey, I will admit, this is something we could have and should have probably done a lot sooner. But even better that we can do it now and really appreciate what it means. I'm really grateful for everyone who helped us during the testathon last week to work out all of the things that we needed to figure out to get this going, to get OBS working, to get overlays, to make sure I had a sound system to be heard and perceived by all of you. And thank you for the outpouring of support. And thank you for everyone who's joined us on this journey and will continue to find us and discover us as we grow and show how much more we can do. I'm thinking next week I'll do hair, but I'm also going to throw it out there to everyone and maybe clip this and find a way to get that out there. If you want to see something on this Sketch by Sketch live stream, if you want to see us do more of this stuff right here and work and figure stuff out IRL online via live stream, whether it's drawing hair, whether it's drawing faces, whether it's drawing characters being romantic and building scenes, or working on your D&D OC designs, let me know and show up in the chat, show up in the DMs on Sketch by Sketch and Nest of Friends. Throw out your suggestions, throw out your ideas. Come check out our live event. Scan that QR code right below my head right now and join us for any of our upcoming live events. Thank you, Mega Dragon, for moderating and donating your skills and your time to really help this baby stream fly and find her way. I could not have done it without members like you in our community from our time building things out here with Sketch by Sketch and Nest of Friends. It totally makes everything we do that much more special. And I can tell you, after being alive for 40 years, that finding a way to make things special, especially when it comes to making art, is a life totally worth living. And it's totally worth having the most fulfilling experiences you can make it with. So if you've ever had a reservation about drawing at all, whether it's for fun, whether it's for a passionate pursuit, I hope that you can at least look at it as something vital and important to how you communicate with yourself. Drawing is not just fundamental, it's essential to how we communicate as creatures, as human beings. Our ancestors, thousands, tens of thousands of years ago, were making marks on cave walls so that they could leave something behind as a tangible visual representation of their thoughts, their feelings, their experiences on this world. You deserve to be able to do the same thing. Everything you make, everything you do, no matter how rudimentary, no matter how chicken scratch, no matter how silly, has value because it's inspiration. It's automatically inspiring when you make art. Whether you believe it or not, it is. And we'll talk more about that next time. But the important part is to make art. It's to draw, it's to express, it's to ideate, it's to make things that were up here in your head tangible so that other people can take that interpretation without words, put their own emotions, their own inspirations, be ignited, and use that to craft and create their own ideas. That's how important even doing something as simple as this can be. Looking at this, knowing how simple it can be broken down, seeing it for what it is, using that as a jumping off point to build and develop your skills, that is why drawing is so important. Even if it takes us 2 hours just to do a whole little page to get ourselves warmed up and reintroduce ourselves with how we like to draw, that's a great way to remind ourselves what our technique is. That's a fantastic way to catalog our progress so that when we go back to this book, we can remember where we were, not just as a person, but not just as an artist, but as a being in time, and let that mnemonic response inform us with all the feelings, and then weigh that against the experiences since that moment to really appreciate what we did and how much more you can do. That's the impact of drawing. It's creating new folds in your brain so that it can be a stronger organ, a stronger muscle, and you can be a better you. So, moving forward between now and next week, let's agree together to find more ways to be better selves, to find more ways to be kind to what we do, to find more ways to, open ourselves up and be available, whether it's to other people, whether it's to other ideas, whether it's to the people who mean the most to you in different ways. Let's find that place as we go forward into this next week. And when we come back, we'll find a new topic. We'll find some more things to work on, and hopefully we'll find more things to talk about with our community. But in the meantime, I've been Sketch Williams. You've been amazing, guys, gals, non-bind pals, nesties, one and all, near and far. And I'm so, so, so excited to continue doing this journey with you every Tuesday, right here on Twitch and YouTube, 6 p.m., 9 p.m., 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Join me back here. Follow Nest of Friends. Follow Sketch by Sketch on Instagram. Make sure to visit the website right here. Find out ways you can donate and support. And nestoffriends.org. I've been Sketch Williams. You've been fantastic. And I will see you all on the flippy flop. Mwah.